Hello guys, welcome to my channel. If you have not seen my previous videos, please go and watch them. This is the first time I am creating a full tutorial. My previous videos were only small tricks or small modules for managing. So in this video, I am going to teach you about exceptions handling in Python, which is a very important and slightly unhandled subject. Like people do not weight it properly, like the way it should be weighted. So I am starting with the very basics. If you know, you can fast forward this video for 1 minute. Okay, so what are exceptions? Exceptions are basically problems in your code. It could be a syntax problem error, like instead of writing the print, we wrote print hello, and then we execute it, we will get a syntax error. Okay, that print is not defined. Or it could be a programmatic error like division by zero. We are doing a division by zero. This is an exception. That was a syntax error, zero division by error. So for handling all these exceptions, Python uses try catch block similar to C and Java. Okay, so whatever we do, we use a try block. Put our statement is within the try block. Then we catch the exception using except command. Except, then we simply print what is the is the error. Okay, let's do it. Let's hit it and we see. Here you can see. Oh, sorry. See, let's run it. Here you can see the message is printed using the try and except block. We Python library defines different type of errors for different purposes, and when we have to catch them. So whatever block we are executing, that is meant that could have thrown an exception, it should be placed inside the try block, and an exception clause should be inserted for catching the exception. Okay, and now let me tell you how you will catch that specific exception. How you can catch a specific division by zero exception. This except catch clause is very generic. Now let's add one more except clause, which should be always note that if you are catching specific exceptions, they should be placed over the generic catch block, and they should be placed in the order. Okay, so if you are whatever order, suppose if you are expecting A, B, and C exceptions in order A, B, and C, then their respective catch blocks should be in order of A, B, and C. Let's see. Okay, I probably missed it. This is the Here you can see the division by zero is printed and generic exception code is not printed. Okay, if we write hello, yeah, as you can see now here, this time generic exception was caught and the zero division error was not caught. While early in the earlier case, this catch block was executed. Okay, this is about the standard try catch block. There is also one more clause to the try catch block in Python, which is the else clause. Yes, like a normal if else, you can include the else clause. What an else clause does: condition number one, if you are adding an else clause to the try catch block, make sure else clause should be after all the catch blocks. Okay, else block should not be over the except block. It should definitely be after the except block. Okay, what else clause does here? Whatever So suppose you are calling a method which is expected to throw an exception, then you are doing something which is not going to raise any error. So instead of putting everything in that try clutch block, you can keep only the part which is supposed to throw an error within the try block, and then use the else block. Then use the else block for doing the further processing. So here, as you can see, I have used x for division by 2. This statement could have raised an error, and I'll use the else block to print this value. Okay, so if this block raises an error, the respective catch blocks will catch the exception and do whatever they are doing. If this does not raise an error, then else block will be executed. Okay, I know you have heard about finally, try, catch, and finally, but this is different than try, catch, and finally. I'll tell you the difference. Just see. Here you can see the value of x is printed. Okay, guys. Now let's come to the finally block. So, Python also has the finally block. Okay, what finally keywords does here? Finally executes that code irrespective of whether the try block is throwing an exception or not. While if an else clause is added, it will only be executed if the try block does not throw any exception. Let's see the difference here. Let's add a finally block. Run this. You can see the finally gets executed, and as well as the else block also gets executed. Let's do this now. Let's change this value to 0 so that our except block will catch the exception. In that case, else block should not get executed, only finally block should be executed. See, here you saw the difference. The division by 0 is coming from the except block, and then the finally gets executed. So here, this is a very important difference, and you have to keep in mind that else block will not get executed if the try blocks throw an exception. So there is a small difference between the else and the finally block in Python. Okay, guys. Now let's come to the raising an exceptions. You can directly raise an exception within the try block using the raise keyword. Let's try to raise this exception. Whenever this block gets executed, it will be raising the zero division error exception. This will be catched by this except block, and then this finally block will be executed. See, the finally block gets executed. Okay, so okay guys, now let me tell you how you can define your own exceptions, and you can raise them using your code. So all exceptions within Python are identical. Now guys, let me tell you how you can define your custom exceptions in the Python. So for defining your own exceptions, exception should be defined as a class, and it should be raised like this. Okay, you can have your own message or not, it's up to you. Let's try to raise this message and also try to print the message. Here you can see, so we have defined a custom exception. Okay, which is which has a base class of exception class. It will be defined a message property for that exception. Then we have raised the custom exception thread, that try block. This statement gets executed because this is not the zero division error, so it was called by our generic exception block. Here you can see, and also the message was printed again. This is all about exceptions handling in Python, guys. So if you really liked my video, please do like and subscribe this. Also, you can see previous videos as well. As I have told you earlier, that this is the first time I'm creating an entire video for a module. Earlier I have created only small tricks in Python. I'll try to create more videos like this in future. Thank you guys for watching.